Warning: this video contains super awesome content not suitable for people who don't enjoy super awesomeness. Viewer discretion advised.
This video contains gratuitous use of profanity and uncomfortable pauses to compensate for lack of professionalism and original thought. Viewer discretion advised.
Oh Lord, what is this one?
All right, this one, we have this guy. As you can see, this guy right here,
Mm.
he's a master. He's a master manipulator.
I think I know about this story.
Yes.
Wow.
So this young lady right here killed this lady because this guy he was having sex with this young girl. They adopted her. So with that being said, let's check out the story.
No child should ever see. Her sister, Sabrina, stabbed their mother, Lisa Knoefel, over 200 times.
Damn.
And as the officers apprehended, interrogated, and charged her with murder, one question still remained. Why did she do it? To understand whether it was intentional or manipulation, we're taking you through the case of Sabrina Zunic and what caused her to stage such a massacre in her foster home. Meet Sabrina Zunic, a poor child raised in a house where both parents struggled with drug and alcohol addiction. After being in the care of her grandmother for years, she was sent to the Emma Cayley Receiving Home at age 14. The next few years went by with her being moved in and out of the foster care system with no loving family to call her own.
Oh shoot.
That was until July of 2011 when she was placed in the care of Kevin and Lisa Knoefel. Initially, Sabrina blended well with them and their two daughters, Megan and Haley. But just a few months later, Zunic started acting out and fought with Lisa because she gave preferential treatment to her own daughters.
Crazy stories back to back.
Even though Kevin sided with Sabrina, she still felt left out of the family, even though she was not doing anything that would upset a parent. She was getting along with the sisters and doing great in school. But there was something about the share of love at home that just caused Sabrina to snap. In the early morning of November 16, 2012, the Willoughby Hills 911 dispatch received a chilling call from 13-year-old Megan.
911, what is your emergency? What is going on? Hello? Who has a knife?
My sister.
Where is your sister?
Quick!
What? I got everyone coming to you, honey. Where is your sister?
As the cops rushed to the scene, they found Zunic with a bloody 15-inch knife still in her hand. And in the master bedroom was the dead body of Lisa. The reason why Sabrina didn't flee the scene and just stayed there is because during the attack, Sabrina suffered several
Okay, we got some ads.
stab wounds and was in a state of shock.
It is.
After she was taken to the hospital to treat her wounds, she was brought into the interrogation room just 10 hours after the murder. Sabrina was 17 at the time, so she should have had a parent or guardian present during the interrogation. But, according to the Ohio Revised Code section 2152.2, a 17-year-old can be tried as an adult if it's a serious offense, such as aggravated murder, which was the case here.
Please. You remember me, right? Mm-hmm. I'm Jim Vitale. I'm a policeman. This is Detective Parmer, Detective Broadwater. They work with me. Hi.
So make a long story short, let's go all the way to 22.
When I learned about Mind Bloom, I was curious if psychedelic therapy could actually help with...
Wrap it up.
There's no proof that this event happened.
There you go.
But to us, this seems like a foiled attempt at discrediting her sister. Even so, the detective realizes that she's sticking to her memory loss story and is not ready to open up. But, even so, the detectives have more than enough to charge her with first-degree aggravated murder. But as Zunic went through this painstaking process towards prison, not many focused on the man with the alibi, her foster father, Kevin. When Zunic was getting interrogated, he had arrived home, and according to the authorities, seemed calm and seemed more curious about the attack than disturbed by it. When she was booked into the Lake County Jail, he went to visit her, but got irritated when he was told that he couldn't. Around the spring of 2013, Zunic sat in jail, And Kevin collected his dead wife's insurance money, paid off his home, bought
Insurance
cars
money.
and a house in Florida.
That's what's going
and
on
took
right now.
flying lessons. For someone who lost his wife in such a gruesome way, Kevin doesn't seem remorseful at all. That is because he was already planning to part ways with Lisa before this incident. At this point, the detectives tried to make a connection with Kevin and the killing, so they brought him in to ask questions. Considering that Kevin walked in with his lawyer, they told him that they'd ask about his wife's work.
Kevin, do you know anything that was happening at the house the night before you left for work that night?
Well, hang on a second. We just talking about his wife's work. What's going on at the house the night before is not his wife's work.
Okay. Where does your wife work at?
County Children's Institute.
What does she do there?
She was a...
Houses are going through a divorce?
Okay, now we're getting outside the...
No matter how much
Yes,
they
he
try
is.
to
He
redirect
sure
the
do.
questioning
Yes,
towards
he's
the
on
event,
it
the
too.
lawyer would butt in and stop them. But even in the basic line of questioning, the detectives noticed that he kept looking down and didn't react. It was almost impossible to get him to crack at this point, but nearly 6 months after the murder, there came a breakthrough. Zunich agreed to talk to a prosecutor through a process called a proffer. In simple terms, Zunich is willing to confess the intent of the murder to a prosecutor and be 100% honest. This is the first step taken before entering a
Go
plea
right
agreement. And while we don't have the complete proffer discussion, we have more than enough to understand the shocking truth.
This is Kevin Knoefel, my foster father. It was Kevin's idea, and it was talked about after we were having sexual relations, and him and Lisa were having problems in marriage. He wanted to get a divorce, but Haley, which is a 3-year-old daughter of his and her, was in the picture, and he wanted full custody. She would get custody or it would be shared, and he didn't want that happening. So the alternative was for this to happen.
When was it, after you started to live there on a daily basis, that your relationship with Kevin changed? When did the sexual nature start to change?
It all started not with sex, but with massages, because he was a truck driver and his legs would cramp, so it was inner thigh. Then
what the fuck?
It progressively got into sex.
Does he ever tell you, hey, you can't tell anybody about this?
All the time.
Did he say what would happen if you told
Then you'd be taken out of my care and I could lose my foster parent license.
What did you
You
say
need to
in
lose that
response?
fucking shit.
I would never do that. Telling him.
Welcome back.
Kevin was the mastermind behind this. He convinced her that after the killing, she'd only do 2 to 3 years, and during those years, Kevin would visit and keep tabs on her. But after his absence of 6 months, she decided to break the silence and reveal what a
you ain't gonna come up
monstrous
here and see
foster
me?
father he was.
Ha,
And it
now
wasn't
I'ma get
just her
you.
word
I'ma
against
get
him.
you, right?
Turns out there were more than 1,500 messages exchanged between the two, most of which were awfully sexual in nature.
Wow.
On June 11th, 2014, Kevin Knoefel was found
Yes,
guilty
I
on
shut
all
up.
11
That
counts.
is shut up,
6
yeah.
counts of
They
sexual
set each
battery,
other.
3 counts of complicity to commit
basically.
aggravated murder, and 2 counts of conspiracy to commit
Good
aggravated
for
murder.
her. She
He was
good for
sentenced to
her.
life in prison with the possibility of parole in 2013.
Mama
Zunich was
got hers.
also given the same sentence because the proffer granted her parole for 30 years.
Woo.
Restaurant store.
Man, that
I
is
hope she learned the
insane.
biggest lesson of her life.
Yeah.
I think she might actually learn something from this. She didn't seem like a bad kid. She just seems like she got put in the wrong fucking home.
Yeah, she
Yeah,
got
definitely.
manipulated.
And you
Yes,
can't
very.
get mad at her because she's also a victim in this.
Right.
Exactly.
You get what I'm saying? She was
Bitch, go ask your
manipulated
wife
into
to
like
give you
falling
a
in love with
fucking
somebody
side
that was supposed to be her like protector
Protect
and somebody that's
exactly.
supposed to be like in guardianship over her.
Seriously.
Oh Lord, Cammy now, Lord, Cammy.
I know.
Don't
It's,
tell me.
no. That was the last
Come on,
story
why
for
we
the
gonna never
for
come
today.
with no happy stories?
No, that was the
Oh,
last
Lord.
story, man.
But wait,
They both
before we
got
go
the
on to the
same
next one, there
time?
was a lot to unpack there.
Did they
No, that
both
was the
receive
I
last
the same
definitely
amount of
think
time?
that she committed a crime. She knew what she was doing, and to
Yes.
Exactly.
stab a bitch over 200 motherfucking
200
times.
times. Yeah.
Right.
Yeah.
I'm pretty
Yeah.
sure
That
he
bitch
was probably
had to
there.
be.
He was
That
probably
bitch
there.
had to have a bionic arm.
He
Man.
was probably
Two,
there and helped. I'm pretty sure.
unless she had two knives and she was going at it like this.
Yeah. Yeah.
Damn,
Yeah.
that's
Yeah.
no. She
She was
definitely doesn't need
manipulated.
to
Yep.
be
Yeah,
out
she
on the
was. She
streets,
was.
but I do
Definitely
think
was.
maybe prison wouldn't be the best place. Maybe a psychiatric home, because you already in there fucking your guardian.
Yeah.
Well,
And you
technically,
killed his old lady, and you was able to stab this bitch 200
200
fucking
times.
times.
Yep.
But at the age that she's at, can she really consent
17.
to sex?
Damn. That's
Can she
insane.
really consent to sex with a grown man? No,
At
basically.
17, yes.
Exactly.
Well, no.
But she's been in the
Okay,
house
in this
since
situation, now, if it
15.
was two 17-year-olds, I'd say yes.
Mm-hmm.
If it was somebody in that age
What
group,
he
but
did
no,
was a crime. Off
this is a
rip, what he
crime,
did was a
definitely.
crime.
Yeah.
What he did
He
was a
definitely
crime.
manipulated her.
Yeah,
He
he did.
raped,
And
molested
wait, pause
her,
it.
all of
What
that.
Grams at? We got to make sure she ain't killed Grams.
Hey, grandma died. Hey, she probably like, some kids.
Natural causes.
Yes, some kids, man, they just natural like that. They natural killers.
So, and then, okay, yes. Okay, you heard what you just said. For her to have stabbed this lady 200 times and then sit in the interrogation room calm as fuck, you crazy. Get that bitch off the streets.
Yeah.
Look at her. She's still crazy. She was going along with it until her
This grown ass man,
fucked up
this grown ass man manipulated a teenager into killing her guardian. Are
Yes,
you
that was
freaking
absolutely
kidding me?
wrong. I agree with you on that. What I'm saying, the
Because
200.
he didn't have the knife, it makes him look less of a victim. I mean,
No, he's definitely
he's
the worst
definitely
person in all
he's
this.
the mastermind.
He's the worst person in all this. What I'm saying is,
but
it was
did
overkill
200
with
times.
200
Yeah, it was
times.
overkill.
Like
Yes.
you turned into a fucking animal. Like you could have just killed the lady. Not saying that you should have killed the lady. I'm not saying should have.
He told her to kill her. She did what he told her to do.
Yeah, but she did it 200 times. Stabbing her 200 times.
They both might have had 100 stabs each. They just ain't putting that in the paper.
This little sister was on the phone with the police. You heard the police call.
Man.
That's crazy. If I was a little sister and this bitch is in my house that we don't really know and she's stabbing like crazy, I would have got the fuck up out of the house. She's standing there like watching it and I'm only like 4 years old. Bitch, I would have cleared it.
But yeah,
this
man,
bitch about to kill me
bro,
next. That would have been the only thing.
that is insane.
Cool, this is not a laughing matter, but yeah.
Yeah, but anyways,
she was definitely manipulated. The guy needs to get life in prison because he set the whole thing up.
Yeah, they give him life in prison.
Yeah, and I think she just needs help. She needs therapy.
Most
She also doesn't need to be on the streets right now. Definitely not.
Maybe next 20 years.
Yeah, give her
15. Yeah, 15.
I say give her
15 is all right.
Yeah.
For overkill somebody.
we over here trying to see what the proper sentence is.
Oh man, but anyways, that's it for today. We appreciate everybody for watching on YouTube, Facebook, wherever you watching, man. We appreciate y'all. Tune in with us every Tuesday, Wednesday, and on YouTube, I upload a video every day. So I chop up,
like, comment, and subscribe to our
every day. Go comment, like, subscribe on YouTube. We appreciate y'all. See y'all next Tuesday.
Yes, sir.
Yes, sir.